Trump and J.D. Vance's campaign airplane was just caught breaking rules and violating very important regulations when they flew straight through a prohibited White House area just 10 days ago on September 4th. And we have a recording of the entire air-ground voice communications where the Trump pilot is essentially told, hey man, you messed up. You have to take down this number for your massive deviation off of your original flight. And there are many arguments going on about whether or not the pilot did this intentionally. I think it was just a mistake, but many people are wondering if this was another move to entrench Donald Trump's power. Either way, this is a breaking news story that you may be hearing for the first time on this channel, so before we dig in, all that I ask is that you leave a like on the video below. This video, posted by Vances Aviation, starts off saying 4th of September 2024, Trump and Vance's campaign airplane operating as BBQ 917 was on departure off runway 1 at DCA Airport when the pilots violated the prohibited P-56A area that protects both the White House and the Capitol. Again, the plane went through this prohibited White House and Capitol area, and many people are saying this is a very, very dumb mistake. Now, I want to play you the entire recording of the air-ground voice communication, but first, this comment reads, I find this hilarious. I was based out of DCA my entire career as a region pilot. I must have made that turn 1,000 times. We brief it constantly. We set up for it. We have backups for it. I did it at night in IFR and never once crossed the river. But these guys, flying for an airline which, quote, I wasn't even qualified for, flew right past it. This wasn't even them crossing the radial of the VOR. They just didn't start until they were told. They fully forgot, and it's hilarious. Now watch this clip of the Trump-Vance airplane and we see maps. Really quickly, this green line on the left is the path that the plane ended up taking. This is the final path of the plane.
Eastern Express 917, runway 1, clear for takeoff, wind 090 at 9.
Clear for takeoff, runway 1, Eastern Express 917.
These are the flight rules for the takeoff in that area. Again, the flight regulations for the area.
Eastern Express 917, contact departure, good day.
Over departure C, Eastern Express 917.
Okay, so they departed. Here is what is going on here. This red zone up at the top is the restricted, prohibited area that you are not supposed to fly through. Remember, this person said you train for it 1,000 times. You brief it constantly. You set up for it. You have backups for it. The yellow line on the left is the path that they were supposed to take, and the green line is the final flight path.
Make that left-hand turn, Eastern Express.
Departure Eastern Express 917, 1200, climb via 6.
Eastern Express 917, still make radar contact, maintain 17,000.
Maintain 17,000, Eastern Express 917.
Here are the White House and the Capitol that just popped up in the prohibited P-56A area.
Eastern Express 917, I have a phone number I need you to take down. I need you to call when you get on the ground, reference possible pilot deviation.
First of all, even people in the comments are saying that Trump's campaign plane can't even take a left turn when needed, but also a few things happened right here. First of all, they say take a left turn right at this point, and you can see you're supposed to take a left turn at this yellow path, but they don't. They keep going straight, and you're not supposed to do that, and they end up going right through the prohibited area. But I think my favorite moment happens a little bit later on when they say, Eastern Express 917, I have a phone number for you to take down. I need you to call when you get on the ground, reference a possible pilot deviation. That is not a good sign. People in the comments are saying you know your career is over when they tell you to write down a phone number to call after this. But every pilot in this area knows that you don't delay that turn based on everything that I've read. But I guess Trump's plan will probably be to draw a Sharpie path over here. If he draws a Sharpie, then maybe he can make it seem more legit.
Eastern Express 917, I have a phone number I need you to take down. I need you to call when you get on the ground, reference possible pilot deviation.
There's more to the video.
Roger. Eastern Express 917 is ready to copy.
540351.
540351.
Taking down the number.
Eastern Express 917, direct auto.
Direct auto, Eastern Express 917.
Eastern Express 917, contact Washington Center 13355.
13355, Seattle, Eastern Express 917.
That is absolutely insane to me that even Trump and Vance's campaign pilot can't follow the rules. The comments on this video are hilarious. You guys should stick around. One reads, "It was the greatest turn, the best turn. Everybody says they never saw a more beautifully perfect turn ever before in the history of flying." The next comment says, "One day he came to me, big pilot, strong pilot, tears streaming down from under his pilot shades. And he told me, 'Sir, we have the best takeoff.'" Someone said, "Obviously Trump has an aversion to turning left." Someone else said, "I'm guessing the quote, 'I got a number to call when you get on the ground' is the ATC equivalent of 'you're about to have to defend your license and career.'" Someone said, "Rule number 1 of flying into or out of DCA, always go IFR, I follow the river." That's what I was saying earlier. I was reading threads on Twitter, I was reading articles, and everyone seemed to say that if you fly in this area, you absolutely know this. So I don't buy that Trump's campaign plane pilot didn't understand that. Someone said, "As a retired airline pilot that flew in that airspace many times, I wonder why they didn't make that turn properly. That is a rookie mistake." Many of these people are saying that this is a insanely rookie mistake. Really quickly, I was reading this article about Donald Trump releasing more cringy NFTs, and I noticed something interesting. Out of the 35 news sources covering this story, 12 were left-leaning, 11 were centrist, and just one was conservative. One conservative news source, which made me realize stories like this don't really pierce into the MAGA bubble, and they never hear about it. That's where today's sponsor, Ground News, comes in handy. Their platform is perfect for sorting through different news sources, finding out which ones are credible, which ones are not, and seeing what the other side is saying about any given story. My favorite feature is the blind spot page, which highlights different stories with minimal coverage from one side of the spectrum. So before debating MAGA or before debating Charlie Kirk, I use the blind spot feed to understand their perspective. You can see this at ground.news/Adam Mockler and use code Mockler. That's ground.news/Adam Mockler. A great example is when Kamala Harris picked Tim Walz as her VP a few months back, left-wing outlets and right-wing outlets had massively different coverage. And NBC News said, "Who is Tim Walz? Kamala Harris's running mate," a normal title. Breitbart said, "Harris listened to the Hamas wing of her party," quoting JD Vance, and Fox News said, "Kamala Harris picks Tim Walz. Did she decide Josh Shapiro was too Jewish to be VP?" So I mean, the difference between these news outlets are just insane, and Ground News points that out. It's essential heading into the 2024 election, especially with all these wild media outlets competing for different headlines. With Ground News, you'll have a different understanding of our political landscape. Just go to ground.news/Adam Mockler. This month, you can get 40% off unlimited access to the Vantage subscription, the one that I use. The link is in the description, ground.news/Adam Mockler. Thank you to Ground News, and thank you guys for watching.